DISD Superintendent Mike Miles is defending his hiring procedures after his chief of staff quit. Jerome Oberlton expects to be indicted this week for work he did with Atlanta schools years ago, and there were apparently some red flags at his previous employer, the Baltimore City Schools. Fox 4's Natalie Solis joining us now from DISD headquarters to explain how it all came about. Natalie.
All right, well, Heather, this is the third chief of staff to leave since Miles became superintendent less than a year ago. And that has some people wanting answers to questions about the hiring process, like how thorough was it? What did Miles and the school board know? And how will this process change to stop what some say seems like a revolving door at the top level of this administration?
I think one of the reasons why we did such a thorough job of investigating is because we knew there were some rumors and there was some controversy.
Dallas ISD Superintendent Mike Miles defending hiring Chief of Staff Jerome Oberlton in January. The controversy he refers to at Oberlton's former employer, Baltimore City Schools. A newspaper series raised questions about his department's credit card spending and $250,000 to upgrade his office. Miles says Oberlton called him Monday to say he expects to be indicted over a computer contract awarded while he worked for the Atlanta School District before Baltimore in 2006.
I was also disappointed and a little angry in that he didn't tell us that he was under investigation.
Newly elected school board president Eric Cowan says the board knew about Baltimore, but is just learning of Oberlton's issues in Atlanta like everyone else.
The superintendent told us that during the interview process they had that discussion and he was comfortable with moving forward as chief of staff.
And there was little the board could do anyway. After all, it was the board that decided to make Mike Miles the first DISD superintendent to have nearly carte blanche authority over his high-level hires. He could decide who and how much they were paid with little input from the board.
We wanted to give him full authority for what he thought was best, for what he needed to turn around the district.
We are really concerned because it definitely shows a lack of stability for not only the students in this district, but for the employees, for the parents, and for the community as well.
Miles says Oberlton was vetted by DISD's Office of Professional Responsibility and its Human Capital Management team. But he says this will prompt a thorough review of how DISD recruits and hires top-level staffers.
Make no mistake, we'll move the ball down the field. We're going to continue to do what's in the best interest of kids in the classroom, in the schools.
He will eventually be held responsible and accountable for who he hires and the success of the district.
All right, so we tried to track down Oberlton to get his response, and tax records show that a Willie Jerome Oberlton has a house in Colleyville, and it's the address also given for other private businesses registered in his name. The people living there are renters, and they tell us that they believe the owner lives in Philadelphia. So unfortunately, no further explanation about his departure. Heather?
All right, Natalie, question for you. What does that mean? We heard the board president say that eventually Miles will be held responsible. What does that mean specifically?
Right. Okay. Well, Miles' one-year anniversary is coming up on July 1st, and he is expected to have his first annual review. Now, his hires and how they have or have not contributed to the district will be something that the board will look at. I asked about Miles' contract and all this authority that he's been given to make these hires, and the board president, Eric Cowan, says revisiting the contract may be something that they'll discuss, but still unclear at this point just what options they're going to have. Heather?
All right, we'll keep watching. Natalie Solis live for us tonight. Thank you.